We have transport.
All right, so why is Facebook down? Everybody's going to wonder about this. You're probably not going to get the straight story, but I've got two ideas on it, and this is just me. First of all, a network as sophisticated as Facebook or Google or any platform like that has so many redundancies in place to keep their services running that it is like, compared to the astronauts going to the moon and the Apollo missions, the redundancies are just ridiculous. So it's very unlikely that something broke the system accidentally. So it's either on purpose, against their will, or it's on purpose by their will. I would have to say one of those two things is true. So if we just look at this right here, this came out, I guess, yesterday. This is the 60 Minutes interview with this woman that worked for Facebook and basically gathered some really interesting information over a period of time and compiled it. If you haven't seen this interview, I strongly suggest that you go check it out. It's on YouTube, of course, and listen to it. It's about 13 minutes long. It's an excerpt of the main thing, but basically she has some insider information in Facebook about things that they do that are extremely questionable. So if you're Facebook and you don't want anybody talking about your business the next day after this comes out, it might be kind of convenient to have your services just completely go down so that the entire user base of the system can't use the system itself to dequalify its existence or to say anything bad about it. There's also the possibility that some hacker group that is finally fed up with Facebook or just wants to take on big tech or just wants bragging rights for the biggest takedown in history has deliberately gone and done this. I expect if that is the case, they had to have had inside people because that's a pretty big thing. The last thing I heard was they were dispatching a team to somewhere in California to manually restart servers. Anytime you hear somebody saying that they're going to manually restart a server, the size of Facebook is just absolutely laughable because I can just see the size of the data center and everything that's involved in quote-unquote rebooting Facebook. That is, I mean, if you were to just look at it on the most basic level, powering everything off and powering everything on is one thing. But to the magnitude that Facebook is not working at all anywhere, kind of reveals that something catastrophic happened. And the only way that that can happen is on purpose by one end, either without their consent, somebody hacked them and did it really good, probably internally, or they did it themselves for some other reason. They may have, based upon this woman's testimony, because she does talk about algorithms in here at some point, it's possible that some programmers needed some time to, let's say, fix some code that we don't want running anymore. And in other words, to be able to do that, then the magnitude of the code that they'd have to change algorithmically or whatever the case may be, comparatively between user bases or the way things are shared or any kind of rule sets that are applied to the way that posts are analyzed, that's a huge programming task. And so to hide their butts, to basically CYA, they may have deliberately taken the system offline long enough for programmers to go in and rectify any kind of things that they don't want revealed if a forensic analysis was to be performed upon the way Facebook conducts business on the cyber layer of how things are done through posts. Traceability there is absolutely remarkable, and if they're trying to remove all of that evidence, then imagine the complexity of all the interrelated links upon links between shares and groups and people that they have to de-thread. They have to de-thread all of that. Imagine threading a needle, and you've got 1 billion needles, and you want to take the thread out of each one, and every needle may have a pair so that that thread goes through 2 needles or 5 needles or more. You've got a mess of interconnections there that creates a quagmire to be able to try to fix. It's no way you can do it in a brief amount of time. So my prediction is this: if that is the case and they are attempting to do that, we're going to see probably a lot of historical data loss all across Facebook. I'm going to say that. I'll say that there's going to be historical data loss across the platform if that's what they're up to, because I don't know how they could keep those two working concurrently. That would be a pretty cool trick if they could manage that, if that's actually what's happening at all. I kind of lean towards the idea that somebody has just gotten fed up with Facebook and big tech and went after them, maybe got a job with Facebook, maybe had a couple of friends working there, and have taken the time to do a coordinated attack so well that they've been able to take out, I'm going to guess, maybe even firmware level stuff. That would be pretty far out. But anyway, that's my take on it, and I think that's why Facebook is down. Comments are welcome. Knock yourself out. Thanks, guys, for watching. Bye.